get what they're trying to do, but also for you, it's like, yeah, that's where you came from for sure.
But yeah, I thought it was good. I thought Mike, I don't know, Mike was a little bit weird. When he was pushing me though, he was having the time of his life.
Yeah, so when Jake and Mike did their face-to-face at the end of the press conference, first thing Mike did was come to Jake, started throwing punches, some pushes.
He's like giggling and smiling and
Jake Paul reacts to Floyd Mayweather training Mike Tyson for their fight. Tyson has entered a phase in his life where a few well-chosen words can leave you awestruck, offering a glimpse into his profound understanding of the world. As he approaches 60, some are voicing their concerns about his decision to step back into the ring. This time, he'll face a much younger opponent with serious knockout power, an amateur boxer, but no less formidable.
Even if I don't know you, that's how I look at people. They're all capable of you. So I look at them at that, and my objectives like that. So they're capable of. I don't sleep on them. I'm not overconfident with anybody in life.
Logan Paul might be overlooking who he's addressing or hasn't caught the training footage yet. Tyson recently appeared on the Impulsive podcast to discuss his upcoming bout with Jake Paul. Logan perhaps believed he was voicing a shared concern when he questioned the readiness of a nearly 60-year-old Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson caught wind of Logan's claim that Jake is a killer, and the concern in his voice was clear. But what really stood out was Logan's advice to Mike: take Jake Paul seriously. Now, if there's one thing we know, it's that when Mike Tyson locks in, things get real fast. If Mike takes this challenge to heart, Jake Paul might be in for a night he won't soon forget. Mike Tyson mentioned that he was fearful of his 13-year-old son, explaining that his 58 years of experience had taught him that anyone is capable of killing. He reflected on his life, stating that from the way he had lived and what he had seen, he believed that anyone had the capability to kill, which made him feel apprehensive. Tyson added that this perspective was shaped by his life experiences and the people around him, who he believed were all capable of such acts.
I'm fearful of my 13-year-old son. And this is what I learned through my 58 years of experience. What my experience is, that anyone's capable of you. In my life and the way I lived my life and what I've seen, anyone's capable of you. So you should be apprehensive for anyone. That's just my life, the life that I live. Everyone around me, anybody I know is capable of killing you.
Now, does that response seem like it's coming from someone who doesn't take fighting seriously? A prime example of how intensely Mike Tyson engages in fight talk can be seen during one of his appearances on Joe Rogan's podcast. When Mike described the adrenaline rush of stepping into the ring, you could see the fire in his eyes. Discussing his passion for boxing clearly revs him up. Those videos showcasing his terrifyingly powerful prime are all out there. Maybe Jake Paul missed them. Mike handled the conversation with a calm confidence that shows he's fearless. When Logan repeated himself, telling him that he cares about his well-being, Mike added that he would be splendid, but thanked others for worrying about him.
I think that's how you have to go into this fight. What do I know, But I just know Jake, man, and like, I just want to make sure you're okay.
Well, I'm gonna be splendid.
Yeah.
Thank God. I appreciate you worrying.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good night, man.
Since the fight was announced, the matchup has ignited intense debate, with many citing the 30-year age difference and Tyson's extended absence from the ring as grounds to challenge the bout's credibility. Apprehensions intensified when Tyson experienced a mid-air medical emergency earlier this year, raising questions about his fitness for the upcoming bout. However, both teams stayed the course, rescheduling the fight from its initial July 20th date to November 15th. Tyson took aim at his detractors during a recent visit on Logan Paul's well-liked podcast, Impulsive, when co-host Mike Malak challenged him to address the skeptics questioning his capability to face Jake Paul. Tyson didn't mince words. Locking eyes with the camera, the boxing icon delivered an ominous dare. Tyson said, "If you think I'm too old for this fight, you need to come tell me in my face." The bold statement left both Paul and Malak visibly taken aback, with Malak quipping, "I don't think they're gonna do that, Mike." In addition, Tyson relayed a hilarious story about a friend who begged him not to harm Paul, calling the younger fighter the YouTuber. Despite the humor, Tyson was unequivocal in his respect for Jake Paul, labeling him a real killer in the ring. Logan Paul backed this up, highlighting his brother's rapidly improving boxing prowess. One of the main topics of discussion has been Tyson and Paul's age difference, with some criticizing the match's ethics and level of competition. Michael Bisping, the legendary UFC fighter, recently called the bout a sham, accusing Paul of selecting opponents at will. Bisping said, "Instead of the competition getting a bit younger and actually being boxers, They're getting older. They're getting way older. They're pushing 60, and they can't even make it to LAX. They can't even make it on a short flight without paramedics coming on and carting them off. Bisping's doubts were echoed by UFC commentator Joe Rogan. Although Rogan acknowledged Tyson's remarkable athletic abilities, he voiced concerns that the considerable age gap would pose a serious challenge for the former champion in the fight. Enthusiasts and skeptics are eagerly debating whether the timeless Tyson can once again outshine the odds, or if Jake Paul will cement his status in boxing by toppling one of the sport's legendary icons. On the other hand, Jake Paul has insisted his added weight will help him in his fight with Mike Tyson. Paul gained almost 230 pounds in preparation for the match, and it is anticipated that he will add weight once again before their fight. In an attempt to make fun of him for his weight gain, his opponent Tyson suggested he shed the pounds before their bout. However, Paul is adamant that it will help him, just as it did for successful current heavyweight boxer Tyson Fury. He responded on his podcast, "It's peak male performance bod, and that is fat. I mean, look at Tyson Fury, for example. He is just a big old milk jug, and look what he's done." Paul's highest weight that he has ever weighed for a professional bout is approximately 200 pounds. However, he might surpass that and reach his highest weight in a bid to equal Tyson's natural heavyweight size. His opponent is in far worse shape than when he was at his best and is far from being in top physical shape. In his prime, Tyson was naturally large and powerful, but he started to lose ground before he retired in 2005. Since then, he has only fought once, facing off against Roy Jones Jr. in an exhibition match. However, training footage makes it evident that his power remains as formidable as ever. Because of his increased girth, Paul has boldly declared that he can equal the legend's vicious punching power. He said, "I know I will be able to match his power. I'm a natural-born heavyweight. This is what I was born to do. Move up into this weight class and show Mike who has more power because he is underestimating me. And I believe I hit harder." Paul further added, "I know it's going to be tough. I know I'm going to have to fight through adversity. I know I might even go to the canvas. I'm scared, don't get me wrong, but it's not about the fear stopping me. It's about going into it, even though I am scared. That is what true bravery is." Jake Paul earned the nickname the Problem Child for a reason. He thrives on playing the villain. Despite lacking any amateur boxing credentials, he's plunged headfirst into the professional ring, and fans are eager for his downfall. Since his debut in 2020, where he faced Anderson Jib at the Meridian at Island Gardens in Miami, the YouTuber-turned-boxer has been unstoppable. Now, with a 10-1 record, Paul is set to clash with the legendary baddest man on the planet, Mike Tyson. At his press event in New York for the upcoming fight, the former Disney star faced a chorus of boos. Undeterred, he embraced the role of the antagonist with gusto. Yet what really caught Paul's attention was the YouTuber chant echoing through the venue during the press conference. In the newest episode of BS with Jake Paul, the Ohio native shared with his cast whether the chant left him feeling disrespected. Accustomed to a barrage of criticism, insults, and abuse since he first laced up his boxing gloves, Jake appeared to revel in his role as the villain during the recent press conference in New York. Furthermore, Paul feels that the presence of a villain makes the pressers more interesting. On that note, Paul specifically liked the YouTuber chant aimed at him by the crowd, who was majorly rooting for Mike Tyson. Jake Paul noted that the chant, "the YouTuber," was great, mentioning that it was a new one, and that he felt it was going to stick. He acknowledged that people were saying it as an insult, but he considered it somewhat of a compliment at the end of the day. He questioned whether it was really bad to be a YouTuber.
A lot of good moments came from that. The YouTuber chat, great. That's a new one, and I feel like it's gonna stick now.
Also,
I feel like
not
other
an
crowds,
insult. Like, yes, you were a YouTuber.
Yeah.
For sure. That's what built your whole career.
Yeah, they're saying it as an insult, but yeah, I guess it's kind of a compliment, right? At the end of the day, is it bad to be a YouTuber?
I mean, I get it, right? Like, I get what they're trying to do, but also for you, it's like, yeah, that's where you came from, for sure.
In 2014, Jake Paul made a splash on YouTube with his channel, where he showcased a mix of comedy skits and daily life vlogs. Prior to that, his uproarious content on Vine had already earned him a massive following. It's clear that Jake's rise to fame as a content creator set the stage for his subsequent success in the boxing ring. Still, what other noteworthy event occurred during the New York press conference? To stir up excitement for the fight, Tyson appeared ready to stir the pot. After exchanging sharp words with Jake Paul at the press conference, the face-off arrived. In a flashback to his Iron Mike days, Tyson gave Jake Paul a playful shove, accompanied by a mocking laugh. Jake Paul responded with a gentle nudge of his own. Fortunately, Tyson's shove was more of a playful jab than a serious threat, showing he was in a lighthearted mood, even more so than the notorious problem child himself. Meanwhile, during the press conference, Tyson mockingly highlighted We've got a YouTuber fighting the greatest fighter that ever lived, while boldly declaring, "Who else can do it but me?" We've just got to listen to the facts. Whether 58-year-old Mike Tyson can defy the skeptics who view his age as a significant barrier in his upcoming fight remains to be seen. Meanwhile, if Jake Paul manages to knock out the heavyweight icon, the backlash against him could intensify. At the press conference leading up to the match, Jake Paul disclosed that Tommy Fury, the only fighter to have ever defeated Paul, had declined a lucrative offer from Netflix. He criticized Fury's decision as the most foolish move ever made by a boxer, and also took a jab at the Brit's recent split from his longtime girlfriend. Jake said, "I don't want to dive into someone's personal life like that, but I hope they're figuring it out and they figure it out with the kids and everything, but I'm still gonna beat his ass as a single father." He definitely continues to devalue himself over time, saying no to the Netflix opportunity was probably the dumbest thing a boxer in history has done. Like, you literally turned down the biggest platform, and now he's got caught cheating and got divorced, and now he is a single father. However, when news broke that Floyd Mayweather, one of the greatest boxers of all time, had taken up the role of training Mike Tyson for their upcoming fight, Paul's reaction was a mix of surprise and shock. Floyd Mayweather and Mike Tyson are two of the most iconic figures in the history of boxing, each dominating their respective eras with unmatched skill and charisma. The announcement that Mayweather would be training Tyson for his fight against Jake Paul sent shockwaves through the boxing world. Known for his defensive prowess and tactical genius, Mayweather's involvement with Tyson could add a new dimension to the heavyweight legend's already formidable arsenal. Despite the daunting task ahead, Jake Paul remains confident in his abilities.
It's gonna come by fast, and the fight will be here, what is it, like less than 90 days now, and I don't know, I'm excited. That press conference got me back into it, you know, mentally and physically, and before I was kind of just like, whatever, we'll see what happens, blah blah blah, but now I think it's become very, very real. And
make sure to check out some of our other videos on the screen if you enjoyed this one.